got COVID in the week before the first lockdown. So that was March 2020. But my GP was absolutely fantastic and very supportive. But after a while was really a loss for what to do, because obviously, you know, nationally, everybody thought it was a breathing issue. And I was having massive issues with heart rate. I couldn't stand. I was dizzy constantly. I couldn't write words. I couldn't speak. And I used to be an English teacher. And it was really, really confusing. And she was really concerned, but I don't think knew where to go with it. And I found a community on Twitter of people that had COVID. And they started talking about long COVID clinics. So I said to my GP, is there any chance, do you know anything sort of locally? And she said, well, I've not heard of anything, but I promise if I do, you'll be the first person to know. And that really stuck with me. And when I got the phone call to say that there is going to be a Dorset long COVID service and she was going to refer me, I was so excited. They were very honest and they said, you know, we're setting up the service. It's a new service. We're kind of learning as we go. And I thought, well, fair enough. I had big hopes that it would be blood tests, it would be scans, it would be, you know, all the things that you think of. But in terms of the idea of a clinic, you kind of imagine it's going to be about testing. But initially, it was about answering the same questions each couple of weeks and then went to each couple of months. And they were really focused on breathing, obviously, because, you know, again, at the time, everybody thought it was a disease focused around breathing. So that was a little bit frustrating. And I got a caseworker called Maria, and I started to see what the service could be. Because if I said to her, I'm really struggling, like with diet, she would do her absolute best to come up with something connected with diet, either refer me on to somebody at Dorchester Hospital, or in this particular case, she gave me a link to some videos that somebody had done in Somerset, the NHS had done in Somerset, that were amazing. And when I had the energy to start looking through them, I realised that one of those videos was really applicable to me. And I changed my diet to take account of that, and gradually started to feel some of the long COVID issues starting to fall away. The fatigue started to improve, so I was still doing the pacing. And I really felt hopeful. It was about a year in and I thought, I am improving. And I sent Maria such an excited email saying, I'm really improving, it's amazing, it's going to be fine. But then in September 21, for reasons I still don't fully understand, the whole thing changed again. And I kind of slipped backwards and probably slipped further than I had been in the first case, and got to the point where I couldn't leave the flat. I was bedbound for some time every day, which is still the case. And I thought, well, what worked last time? You know, what helped me? Who was the support network that kind of got me through? So really, as a long shot, I emailed Maria and said what had happened. And she got straight back in touch with me. And it was just such a relief. And I knew then that we work best if I say, these are the things that are really bothering me most. And she could say yes or no, we have that or we don't have that, or I might be able to help you in that way. And the thing that was bothering me most was I was choking when I was eating and swallowing. And that hadn't been the case previously. And so she referred me to a speech and language therapist, Alice, who again was absolutely fantastic. And right the way through, it's felt that people, whoever I've spoken to in the long COVID service, genuinely do their very best. And even to the extent that I said to Alice, I'm a singer, or I used to sing. I absolutely love singing. And again, she went back to Maria and the ENO do a course called ENO Breathe. So you get to sing lullabies with the English National Opera. It's just like, and that's really what it's been like. There are terrible things about having long COVID, really frightening things. because nobody understands fully the kind of mechanisms behind it at the moment. If you focus on too much, that can be really scary. And if you have it for a long period of time, your life changes, it changes totally and utterly. And what all of these things help you do is kind of realize that you need to let go of that concept of being what you were before and try to find a kind of new way of living, a kind of the new positives. And the courses and the support that I've had from the long COVID service are the things that have helped me to do that. Listen and believe. That's the other thing that's really, really key for long COVID. You have these weird symptoms. You suddenly find like black spots in your hand, or you suddenly find you have a rash on your face, and people listen and take you seriously, and that is beyond measure. Well, I'm living a different life now, completely. What the course is and everything, all elements of it have brought something. Every single contact I've had with somebody from the long COVID has brought something different. And I accept the situation I'm in now, and I can see the amazing things that I have in my life that I wouldn't have been able to see previously. So I'm not trying to go back to the life before, because that's a past life. And what everything has shown me is this is a different life, and there are positives and there are good things about this that are actually better, than my old life. And there are challenges, there are huge challenges. But I know that if suddenly you can test for blood clots in the UK, I know I can get on the email to Maria and she will try her very best to make that happen. And that's part of the thing that it gives you, is that security. Is they're there for your best interest, and they want you to live the best life you can for now and into the future, and they'll support that.